Good morning. I haven't posted anything on my channel in years, but I've started working on a project that I thought people might find interesting. And so I thought I might share it with you. There's several guys on the internet that have postings like this, but only a few. So I thought I'd show you my version and see what you thought. Lowe's in the summertime run their log splitters on sale for 40% off. So I bought this log splitter, brand new, 25 ton, for about $650 plus tax. And so, as you can see, this is my little shop here, and I've been working on it for the last 6 months, collecting parts for it for years. And so what I'm going to do with this log splitter is I'm going to convert it to a forging press. This is a 25 ton Dirty Hands log splitter. I'll stand it up for you and give you a view. You probably don't want to look at me. I'm not a very pretty guy, but I wanted to share my process with you. I got my inspiration from James Davis at County Line Forge. Yeah. There we go. James Davis at County Line Forge. And and also James Ball and a few other folks. And so I'm going to convert this into a forging press. When I first started into this endeavor to learn blacksmithing, I was in a little better shape, but I have been having some shoulder problems since I did a slip and fall on the ice, and I thought, well, let's see if we can't help that and help get me a little bit farther ahead. This morning all I'm doing is cutting steel for my anvil on the bottom and my top anvil, and I have my measurements. The goal is to make this, once it's sitting on a stand, to be about 35 inches high, sitting on the ground, with my stand sitting on the ground. But I have some other ideas, and so I'll move you around and I'll show you what I've built so far. I'm sure you don't want to watch me chopping steel on a chop saw all morning. That's kind of boring. It's kind of boring to me even doing it, but I enjoy it. But let me show you what I've got built so far and where I'm going with this. Sorry for the shakiness, but this is the mock-up for my bottom anvil. This would be the bottom plate. These are pieces, excuse me, I'm going to walk in front of the camera. These are pieces of 2x2, 1/4 inch wall. And so I'm going to weld 9 pieces of these together and put a piece of 3/4 inch on the bottom, right here, a piece of 3/4 inch on the top, and then I'm going to weld it to the bottom of the anvil, or the bottom of the press. To this morning, what I'm working on are the pieces for the top, and they're basically, oops, I didn't even look to see, sorry, I'm not a videographer here. Anyways, this is my pieces. It's a 6x6 piece altogether. 6x6 piece of 3/4 on the bottom, 6x6 3/4 on the top. And so these pieces are 12 inches long for, you know, a grand total, or the 12.5 inches long, so this will be 14 inches off the bottom. It's what this will be right here. This morning I'm cutting the pieces to fit in the top, and because it has stripper plates on there, which I'll show you just here in a second. I'm going to move you again, so hang on. Because this log splitter has these stripper plates right here, and I don't want to remove them, what I'm going to do is the piece coming out of here will actually be 6 inches tall, 4 inches wide. It'll slide on a piece below that, which I'll have to later figure out what it's going to be, what the actual dimensions are going to be, because this is too sloppy like this. It'll come out to here, and then I'll go back to a piece of 3/4 inch 6x6 so that my top dies and my bottom dies can be interchangeable. But as I said this morning, what my job is to cut steel. And so here's my setup out here for cutting steel. I got my first piece, which is I use as my standardized piece, ready to go. And so I'm taking advantage of the cool morning in the shade here in North Oklahoma. It's really, really muggy. I've got a little bit of a breeze so that I can get away without wearing a dust mask. And I'll show you the process on my Milwaukee. I think I've got enough blade left to cut this one off before I have to change blades. And then I'll probably shut this down until I start doing something interesting again. So here we go. I'm going to cut a piece of steel, which you guys have seen hundreds of times, I'm sure. Most of you that have watched this kind of a video. But I'm just going to cut one, and then I'll go on to other things. I'm not a video editor either, so you're probably just seeing bits and pieces of me. I'll raise this up just a little bit. You're probably seeing bits and pieces of me, but like I say, I'm not pretty, so that's probably not all that interesting. So here we go. this piece cut to 5 inches becomes my standard for the next 5 pieces, so that I'm within grinding range, and don't have to get everything flat. So let me cool this one down and shut you guys off, and when I've got all the pieces cut, I'll come back and show you the mock-up of the top and the bottom, except for the back plate. The back plate for this, because this is a track, let me just show you right quick. Because this log splitter was built with a track, so you can't clamp to the outside. It's over 6 inches wide and over a ½ inch deep. It's closer, it's not 3/4, and it's a little bit over 5/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece in here and that fits the side-to-side slide, and it also will extend down and slide behind the bottom anvil, so that the movement top to bottom will be minimalized. And I can't think of the guy's channel that said that, and he's up in Idaho, and I will mention his name, but he's a super builder, super particular, and this is going to be on, I am going to put this up on casters, big casters, so that when I go, because you can see I have let me show you, a dirt floor garage, and so a lot of times I don't have any holes punched in here for ventilation on my forges, so a lot of times I work right in front of my garage early in the morning. And so I happen to live in an area where most of the people only come in for the weekends, and so there's not very many people to disturb in the mornings, and most of them get out and do their yard work really early anyway, so they're already up. So anyways, I'm going to stop this video here, and I will come back. I'll kind of give you a quick sweep of my terrible looking garage. It's pretty cluttered up in here. I get it straightened out from time to time, and I'll give you a little tour one day when I get it straightened up. But thanks for watching. If you're watching this morning, I really appreciate it. I hope that I can show you the way that I did this and inspire other guys to make forging presses. I'm expecting to have, so far I've got, I think, about I've got about $700 with taxes in this brand new log splitter that I'm going to convert, and I've got about $100 worth of steel that I'm cutting up to use right now. So I'd say I was using scrap pieces, but I don't have any scrap hardly, just a little bit, and most of those will be used on the frame. So I will get back to you later, and I'm not an editor, so you'll probably see this whole thing just like she rolls, and so we'll see you on the next go around. Bye.